What's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video answer segment type of video. This one will be part 12, leading up to the return of The Walking Dead Season 6. Okay, so we've got some questions for you guys for this week. Keep sending me your guys' questions. Always like to read them. Always like to add them for Q&A so we have video topics and things to talk about. If you guys missed my top 10 greatest moments from The Walking Dead, I released it Sunday. I feel like it turned out to be a pretty good video. So check it out if you guys want to watch that. Hear my thoughts on what the top 10 best moments of the entire series are. Most impactful moments. So to start this one off, a few people have asked me about to comment on and give my thoughts on Kirkman's signing for his company Skybound. Him and I believe Dave is the name of the other person who started Skybound with him. And I'll put the link in the description for the article for you guys. You can go ahead and take a look at it. He has signed a deal which is called a first look deal with Universal. Now we know that they're doing a movie Air, which is starring Norman Reedus, which I'm excited to see. But we saw the teaser trailer for it, but we haven't seen like a full length trailer for it. So I'm excited to see that. Like to see anything that has either Robert Kirkman or Norman Reedus involved. So that should be good. Just to kind of see, obviously creator of The Walking Dead and Norman Reedus, of course, Daryl The Walking Dead, awesome stuff. Now with this one here, it says in the article that it's not. Some people thought right away like, okay, are we going to see a Walking Dead movie? And it seems like they're kind of, that's kind of not something that they're signing the deal for. Now, with that, Walking Dead is different because he's got other properties too. Kirkman's done Invincible, which is another huge comic book series that's actually really, really good. It feels a bit like a combination between Spider-Man and Superman to me, and it is really fun. It's a really great comic book. The owners of my comic book shop here in town, one of them, it's their favorite comic book series, and he's read like a bazillion, like anything you can think of. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully we can see maybe an Invincible movie or something. I don't know, something like that. I know they're doing the Outcast, I believe, which I read. I think I reviewed the first issue of it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's kind of got that exorcism thing, going on, and Constantine was a decent show, but to start at least. But I don't know how I feel about the whole exorcism thing and that being like a series. It's not that intriguing to me, to see it as a series. But there's another one called Clone and Thief of Thieves, which are also being a TV series, I think. So in addition to that, of course, Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. But I'm not sure if Kirkman, just because he owns Walking Dead, the comic book series and everything, of course, I'm not sure if he would be able to do a movie with Universal about Walking Dead because it is signed to AMC, right? So, because AMC is there, and AMC, of course, is a TV, channel, I don't think that they could translate that into a movie theatrical release. That said, I would love to see it if they could find a way to make it happen, and I think it might be worth it for them. Of course, I'm happy with what we're getting now already, 16-episode seasons. It's better than a movie. Like one movie would be insane, but I wouldn't want to lose a whole season for one movie. If you guys had to choose a movie or a whole season of Dead, which would you go with? 16 hours versus what would be like 2 hours in a movie probably? I would definitely go with the 16 episodes of Dead, no doubt about it. It would be cool to see a movie, though. Some ideas could be they could either do something like a new, group of survivors and see some kind of Walking Dead movie around that, or maybe do like a David Morrissey, see if he's interested in doing maybe a beginning of The Governor, kind of what happened to his character from the start of the zombie apocalypse, losing his wife, and all the things that happened with that, and him kind of becoming the leader of Woodbury. Maybe have the movie end with him finding Merle or something. That'd be cool. There's some different kind of fan ideas out there. Those are some of mine, and different things they could do that would just be really great to see. I don't think we'll ever see it though, and that's me saying I don't think we'll ever see a Walking Dead movie because I feel like AMC has the rights to it, and they're probably going to want to just lock it up and make TV series out of it. That's their bread and butter. That's what they're used to. And if you involve, Universal or other things like this, Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm pretty sure we won't see a Walking Dead movie. Kind of my thoughts on that. I don't think it's going to happen, but wanted to comment on this anyway in case any of you guys like Kirkman's other stuff, like Invincible and some of the other stuff. Even though there's no mention of Invincible in a movie here, I'm kind of flabbergasted that we haven't seen something for Invincible, because really it's Kirkman's, in my opinion, it's his biggest, comic book aside from The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead's probably the biggest, but Invincible, it's probably his next, and it's been, it's been a really big series for a long time. So before the TV series of The Walking Dead, I want to say Invincible was probably even bigger in comic book lists, I think, as a seller than The Walking Dead was up until the point the TV series started. Once the TV series started, sure, The Walking Dead comic book series took off. But before that, Invincible, the comic book series, was doing it still is doing really well. But, I think it might have been doing better than that prior to the TV series being released. So those are my thoughts on Walking Dead movie. I don't think we'll see it. I wish we would, though. It'd be really cool. But I wouldn't want them to stop a whole season of Dead to do a movie, even though the concept of a David Morrissey governor origin movie would be just insane. I would go see that like 5 times. So anyway, so maybe they could do it would be cool too if they could do like a TV movie or something. Like something like that, like an additional Walking Dead TV movie or something to do on top of the series. But who knows? I mean, they can only do so much stuff, and people like David Morrissey may be busy, other people might be busy, and they may not want to do it depending. So anyway, it is what it is. So we'll get into a few of your guys' other questions. This one, I didn't write down the name of the person who asked it, and I apologize for that. I think it might have, I'm not sure. And here she says, Trev, how would you feel about a long-time split between the group's members? We've seen them being separated before, but it was always pretty obvious they'd end up together again. Would you like them to do something similar to Game of Thrones, where some characters basically stay at the same location all the time, and others are constantly on the move? In my opinion, some of the Walking Dead storylines where all the characters are basically stationary might have been better if a few of them were still on the move. I'm asking this because I like to see them travel and enjoy some of the other parts less, like Woodbury. At the moment, I'm not sure if I want them to split, but it could happen if the wolves cause havoc in Alexandria. It might be cool to see Morgan and some other characters getting separated from the group, though, but not sure if it would work in a show like The Walking Dead. So that's a great comment. I wanted to comment on that. I really like the idea of having different locations, different things happening at the same time, and kind of the characters going from one to another, or kind of getting lost, or being in different spots and different things happening. It really makes a story interesting, and we've seen it through The Walking Dead at certain parts. In season 5, when they're all kind of split up, you've got Daryl and Carol that go after Beth. You've got the rest at the church, and then you've got Abraham, Glenn, and the others that split off. Then they meet up later, and you have different groups like that. And I really like that kind of storyline. That's part of the reason why I like season 3 so much, is because you have Woodbury, which has a great storyline by itself. Then you have the prison, and you have certain episodes that focus on each, certain episodes where you have battles between each, and kind of the stories intertwining. And I really, really like that a lot, how they go back and forth like that. Some people don't like it, but I really like it a lot. And it works in Game of Thrones so well. I think it would also work in The Walking Dead. But I think that generally, because The Walking Dead is kind of concentrated on our group of survivors, that's why we don't see that. But it would be interesting if we saw a character maybe go against the grain and go off and try to start one of their own groups or something, and just see something different happen, like that. Like, I like how Morgan was separated, now he's coming back, and it's going to be cool to see him back here. And, I do think it's a great idea, as much as they can kind of, create a worldwide, thing. But spoilers for the comic book series, later on in the comic book series, we do kind of see that. We see characters in different communities, and we have different communities, different places, and Rick's group eventually, not entirely, because a lot of them stay together, but the core members that are still surviving, a lot of them spread out a bit. They kind of choose a community, they go to different kind of communities, and they might visit here and there, but a lot of the time they're in different spots, which is cool. So I think what this comment says, I forget, sorry, who I didn't write down the username. I had it, but it deleted when I was going through my list. So many questions and stuff. But yeah, eventually, I think we will see that. I do, yeah. Okay, next one is from Dylan the Irish guy. He sent through a couple questions. He says, "Hey Trev, something I've just found. Did you notice the Walking Dead title in the opening credits has gotten more dark or decayed season after season?" And no, not really. I mean, I noticed that it was changing, but I haven't noticed that it's like really dark and gotten more decayed or, you know, just darker all around as we go through. Now that you mention it, I kind of see that, kind of, but I haven't really compared, you know, like one intro versus next season. But that's pretty cool. I never really noticed that. No, at least not consciously. Subconsciously maybe, but not consciously. Next one's also from Dylan. He says, "Did you know that the actress Carrie Condon, who plays Stacey Ehrmantraut in Better Call Saul, also starred in The Walking Dead? She played Clara, the crazy Irish woman Rick encountered in the woods in Season 4, Episode 1, 30 Days Without an Accident." No, I didn't know that. But now that you mentioned that too, that's really cool because you look at her and you see it. It's like, yeah, you can see it. But the thing is in Season 4 in the premiere, they dye her hair black and it's really long. And for anyone who's doesn't know who we're talking about, it's the lady that Rick meets in the premiere of Season 4 that stabs herself, right? And then she comes in Too Far Gone. She wanders up to the prison with the rest of the zombies when the battle's going down, which was pretty cool and was handled really well. And she's the one who says, "You don't get to come back from the things you do." That's my terrible makeup. Irish. You don't get to come back from the things you do. Tings. You do. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty funny that it's the same actress. A lot of AMC people, you know, they don't have a hard time getting other AMC jobs. But she was a weird character, really a creepy character. And also with Sam, the Penguin from Gotham. I'm going to watch Gotham later. I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch. Man, the show's amazing. Really glad we have Gotham on since The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and stuff. There's always stuff going on. That's what's always fun about entertainment these days. There's always some great shows on and stuff. But she was a cool character, and she was really weird. And now that you mention that, that's really funny because I didn't really notice it. No, not really. She's a weird one. I almost wondered to a point, why did they even put her in? You know, why did they put her in the show? Because she's kind of out of place, and, you know, she doesn't really do much aside from die, but I think it's because of what she says to Rick and its meaning later on about being too far gone and not getting to come back. It's like a warning when the governor shows up that Rick tries anyway, as Herschel tells him to try. Not even then. So he tries to tell the governor that they're not too far gone, and the governor replies, "Liar." Love it. Cool stuff. Next one is from Mike D. And he says, "Trev, who do you think shoots the most accurate Survivor on The Walking Dead? Who's the most accurate?" Man, I'd probably go with Sasha at this point. I think that's a sure bet because we've seen her just shooting up a storm like crazy lately. So she's on her game. You know, she's prepped and ready if they have a shooting contest. I think right now she's a sure bet right now, you know, because she's just been doing it so much. No matter what you do, you're going to get better at it for the most part, unless you're like brain dead or something, or it's just something you're not naturally good at all, which in case everybody's got things they're not good at, even if they practice, sometimes they don't get that much better at. But yeah, she's kind of established at the end of Season 5 as like their sharpshooter, and especially with the dogs, when the dogs attack and just do, they're all dead. You know, that's it. So she's pretty cool, man. She's turned out to be a character that I like a lot more than I thought I ever would. I thought I would always hate Sasha, and I don't. I actually like her a lot now. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Next one's from Logan Magoo, and he says, "One major flaw in The Walking Dead is how is the grass always cut? Your thoughts?" It's like, what do you want me to say? Yes, they cut the grass. You know, they have to film at certain spots, right? They got to film somewhere, and they like to have buildings. They like to have, fences and all these different things. So in pretty much all those places that people are going to be around, yeah, someone is contracted to cut the grass. Now, they can ask people, please don't cut the lawn, but there's only so long it has to grow. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much time the grass has to grow since someone cut it last and when they're preparing to shoot and everything and they get a spot. So yeah, I think I saw some spoiler pics where they had like please do not mow or something like that for certain spots, and I think they did have that. But yeah, there's also some other weird things too, like some of the cars that they have. Like I think the car that Shane drove was like a newer edition than it should have been. You know, it's like a new car, but but yet in the zombie apocalypse, that shouldn't have even been released yet. So there's some other things like that you can point to as well too. But hey, it's a TV series, you just got to go with it. Next one, he says, in Season 2, Episode 1, What Lies Ahead, the survivors are on the road and they come to a major traffic jam as they look around for supplies, and a way through the first zombie herd is seen by Dale, and all the survivors hide under the cars in the RV, etc. The herd passes after Andrea kills a zombie in the RV with a screwdriver. Then a slow zombie walks by the car Sophia and Carl are hiding under. Sophia screams because one walker is scarier than 100 apparently. He says, but whatever. The walker drops down. Sophia bolts. 2 walkers chasing Rick, follows down the hill. Lori, Carl, Dale, Andrea, Glenn, and Shane all stand at the guardrail and watch them run off. You bring up a good point, man. I says, if 2 or 3 of these people follow, I would think they would make short work of 2 walkers, even not being seasoned walker killers. Shane, Rick, Glenn, and Dale could surely handle 2 walkers. Sophia never goes missing. Carl never gets shot, and they find the farm very different. In a very different show if a couple of people just run down a hill. Jay Whitcroft. So great comment from Jay. I read the whole thing. So there you go, Jay. So thoughts, is that what you're asking? I think you're asking for my thoughts on that. Right, so here's the deal, right? So, and there's lots of stuff like this in Season 2. For example, there's one where Andrea, she sees like one zombie, and she like totally wigs out, and she almost gets killed by one zombie, like one-on-one. And Maggie rides up and hits it, I think with a bat or something, and knocks it down or something like that at some point in Season 2. I forget which episode it is. It might be that one. I don't remember. But this was the time when, okay, there's a couple things to this. The first one is that zombies were more deadly at the beginning because their body hadn't decayed so much. Each season they become more and more decayed, so now even an exhausted group can push them down a hill and stuff. Whereas earlier on, like for example, Milton's zombie, as soon as they turn, they have all their body tissue. So when they can move a lot faster than they can later on when they're decayed. When they're decayed, their muscle mass is not there. They're basically like elderly people with osteoporosis, maybe even worse, who have muscle decay like crazy, so they can't move well. You know what I mean? They can't move quickly, they're slow, they're lumbering, and they can fall, and they're just not that strong. But earlier on in the series, the zombies are a lot stronger, especially Season 1. They're running. Well, they're not running, but they're kind of like, coming fast after them. Like the group has to run away. And as Rick says, he gets winded, but they don't. And it's kind of true in a way, because you think about it, their brain is basically, their neocortex is shut off. So they're operating from the reptile brain, the brain stem. And the brain stem, that part right there, zombies in the way they operate, they're not going to slow down. If they see food, if they can't breathe or whatever, as a human, we kind of, sometimes this old thing right here gets in our way of doing things, especially physical things. If you're working out, for example, you're doing bench press or something, if you use this too much, a lot of times you don't push enough, and you actually outthink yourself. And when you get tired too, a lot of times you can kind of slow down. But with zombies, they're not thinking like that. Their brain is just operating on just primal instinct. So they're running, or they're whatever. Their lungs can only handle so much, but their brain is like, it doesn't feel any pain, so they just keep going and keep going and keep going. When you feel pain, you start to slow down, right? So zombies were a lot more deadly earlier on in the series than they are now, right? In the series, and as a result, the group was much more scared of them earlier on in the show, until they realized that they can't run away from all the zombies, and they're going to have to fight them. And they were also scared too, because at the campsite, when the camp got attacked, and you had Andrea and Amy, right? And they were scared of zombies. They would use guns, but they just weren't that great at killing them yet. They weren't that practiced. They were scared of them because they're scary looking. They're gnarly, like face hanging off and stuff. They're gross, to fight against. And also their bodies are more intact, and they've become a lot stronger now. The characters, the survivors, have been a lot more tougher now. But you raise a good point that it's kind of funny when you look back to the beginning of how just a couple zombies could be such a big threat, and it's like, Nowadays you just have someone like Tyrese, or in season 4, he's just like wailing on like groups of them with the hammer, or you'll have like characters like Daryl who will be going through lots of them with arrows and killing them or hitting them back and all this stuff. When earlier on, 2 of them are basically responsible for the death of Sophia, pretty much, just 2, not like 100, not like 50, 2. But Tyrese won, so it can still happen, right? So I definitely want to comment on this because I think it's just a great question from Jay, or a great observation from Jay. Yeah, I do think zombies have become more dead or less deadly as the seasons go on, and the survivors have become stronger. They're getting more used to it. They're not going to be as easily put off by looking at a zombie and be scared too much. They're just going to kill it without thinking and go forward, and that's it. And so that's my thoughts on it. Zombies have become weaker, survivors have become stronger, and it's like the first time you do something. You get on, you ride a bike, sometimes you fall down a few times. You get scared when you first start. Then once you get on that bike, you get used to riding it. You can come out every day. Where's the fear? You just ride, right? You just ride. It's no big deal. You don't even think about it. You're not scared to get on that bike. But the first time when you're a kid and you're learning to ride a bike, it's pretty scary. A lot of us don't remember. If you think back to when you were a kid and you learned to ride a bike, it's pretty scary at first times. You take the training wheels, okay, it's time to take them off. And no, Dad, I'm scared. No, Mom, I'm scared, right? Same thing, right? Cool. So that's pretty much all I got for this one for you guys. Keep sending me your questions. Keep letting me know what's up. And I'll keep trying to make as many videos as I can. It's tough, though, this time of year, man, because we got nothing to talk about. All I have is what you guys will give me or what I can think of. That's it. So, let me know what's up, guys. And if you like the Q&As, you want to see them continue, please do me a favor. Please thumb them up below. If you want to help support the channel, thumb them up, share it, favorite it. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left, to go ahead and subscribe. Those are my thoughts on a possibility of a Walking Dead movie. Just not very likely. Write your comments below on what you think. If you think maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is more likely than I think. And also, zombies and becoming more deadly, and the other questions we talked about, group separation and all that. So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully I'll see you again soon for another Walking Dead video. As always, it's Trev saying peace, guys. Later. I'll see ya.